now we'll talk about disjunction. Um, disjunction is probably best explained by looking straight at the truth table to see what it means to take a disjunction of two propositions. We express it with small d. It's also called or. That's how we read this sentence usually. When we want to read it off, we say p or q. And the truth table is just that whenever you have one of the two true, then the whole statement is true. So with conjunction, we needed both of them to be true. Now we only need one. So obviously, in the first case, you have two truth values, or two true values, and so the whole thing will be true because you have at least one. In the next case, P is true, and so it's true. In the third case, Q is true, and so the whole thing is true. And in the last case, neither are true, so we get false. And that's just what our disjunction is. And it does more or less correspond to what we mean when we say or. We generally, if I say it's raining outside or the Republican won the office, besides being an odd sentence, it is just all I need is one. If you say, "Oh, the Republican didn't win," so you're wrong. I say, "No, it is raining outside. You can go outside and check," and so I'm right. Because all I said was it one or the other, so I just need one. That's somewhat intuitive. Well, sometimes there are these cases in English where you actually mean one and not the other. So if somebody says, "Here, you can have a Danish or a pastry," then that generally, depending on context, it could mean that you can have one, but you can't have both. And we just don't consider that in logic, largely because we can always express that kind of thing with other symbols. But if we were to have a symbol for it, and there is a sort of almost never used symbol for what's called exclusive or. That's where you can't have both of them. Exclusive or is often written with an underline underneath the disjunction symbol, and the truth table is obviously that, but because it's so non-standard, we won't say anything more about it. Like conjunction and negation, you can fool around with them, create arbitrarily large propositions, evaluate their truth tables. It's definitely good practice to do that. Also, like conjunction, you can, if you have something that is only disjunction, you can shift around the parentheses and maintain the truth value. That is to say, it is associative. As a note, it's also commutative, meaning that you can switch them. So if I have P or Q, it's the same thing as Q or P. Conjunction is also commutative. And then one other interesting note is that if you have a negated disjunction, its truth table will come out to be the same thing as the negated P conjunction negated Q. I'll leave it to the viewer to write out the truth table and verify this, and you should as practice, but it also comes up with something that we'll talk about a little bit later on. And so that's just a somewhat interesting fact. And now we'll talk about the conditional. So again, it's probably best to just go straight to the truth table. But this truth table might look a little bit manufactured because, I mean, for and it was a little bit natural, right? I mean, in English when we say P and Q, we want both of them true, so we've just got true at the top and false everywhere else. When we say or, we mean one or the other, so we've got true at the top and false at the bottom. This one just has a false, or a false, just in the middle, and you may think that's a little odd. Well, this is the most contentious of the logical truth functional connectives, and there's tons of literature on how to take. This is also called the material conditional, and we also read it as if. So if I were to read this expression off, I would say if P then Q, and that's what the conditional is supposed to represent. It is if then statement. And for some of this, it might seem intuitively true. Like if P, let's change my standard example a little bit, and I take P to be it's raining outside and Q to be there's water on the ground. Then if I make that claim, if P then Q, if it's raining then there's water on the ground. If I make that claim, then you go outside and you see, hey, it's raining, and also you see there's water on the ground. That's represented by this case where both P and Q are true. They have true truth values. It makes sense to say, so you made a true statement. So that case seems more or less all right. And in the next case, if I say it is raining outside, then there's water on the ground, and you go outside and you see, hey, it is raining outside, but nope, there's no water on the ground. Maybe because there's this like huge awning and it's keeping the rain from hitting the ground or something. For whatever reason, I made a false statement. And so we assign to that statement the value false. So that seems more or less okay. But then when we get down to these other two, if I say, if it's raining outside, then there's water on the ground, and you go out and see, hey, it's not raining outside. Can you come back to me and say, so you were wrong all along? Well, no, I mean, I wasn't wrong, right? I just said, if it's raining, then there's water on the ground. So it seems right that we don't give it false. But then to say that it's true, right? I mean, that seems a little bit awkward. I'll leave it to the viewer to look up any literature on conditionals and see what kind of arguments have been made back and forth. But the same basic idea is supposed to apply for the last case. If I say, if it's raining outside, then there's water on the ground. You go outside, you see it's not raining, and there's no water. You can't come back to me and say, you were wrong, because I just said, if it's raining. So since it's not raining, I didn't say anything false. So anyway, that's sort of the motivation behind this truth table. And so probably the next thing that we should talk about are maybe contradictions and consistent and inconsistent sentences. So we'll pick that up